Parapsychology Today, a program of investigation into the realms of the unknown. Suspend your mind for a moment and journey to a world beyond the five senses. Parapsychology Today is a program exploring ideas, theories, and concepts that have been around since ancient times. We'll journey to outer worlds and inner worlds. We'll look into such phenomena as past lives, UFOs, and hauntings. And we'll explore psychic ability as it relates to human potential. We do not intend to prove or persuade, but rather present theories and personal stories of ventures into the world of parapsychology. Whatever your beliefs, we hope this program will start you thinking about a reality beyond the five senses.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Parapsychology Today. I'm your host, Pauline Nortness. We have a really interesting topic today. I'm going to be interviewing Chaya Silberstein, and our topic is the wonder method. Now it's exciting to me. It's an energy healing, but I don't know that much about it. We got to ask Chaya. Hi, Chaya. Welcome to our show. Thank you so much for joining me. You are in Venice Beach, California, right?
Correct. Hi, Pauline. Thank you for having me.
This is my first interview with somebody out of the studio, so this should be exciting. Anyway, I always like to start with the person's background so we establish your credentials because we're going to be talking about energy healing. So tell us about yourself.
So I got into energy healing probably back into 2016, almost by accident. I met Richard Gordon, who's the founder of Quantum Touch, who I think you're going to be talking about that a little later today with another guest. But I met him and I started then working for him as the editor of the newsletter for Quantum Touch. And then I learned it about a year later. And then shortly after, I met Alan Harriet and began learning the Wonder Method.
Tell us about Alan and his wife. They started the Wonder Method?
Yeah, Alan and Jody, they were both top instructors of Quantum Touch. And then they were perfecting some of the techniques. They really wanted an emotional element tied into the regular energy work. And then they decided to go off on their own as they developed this method, and the Wonder Method was born.
Do you teach both of these systems now or just the Wonder Method?
I just teach the Wonder Method. I am certified as a Quantum Touch practitioner, but the Wonder Method, I'm certified as practitioner, coach, and instructor.
Can you give us a little example of how the Wonder Method works?
Absolutely. So the Wonder Method is a yin healing modality. So basically it's super, super gentle. It's about allowing rather than forcing or trying to make change happen. So essentially, we allow whatever physical sensations show up. And as you do that, rather than go into story of a condition, things start to change. So we really use the body and the nervous system as a whole to help us heal.
When you say allow, now we've got to establish that these healings are energy healing. So if we are thinking 3D, we're thinking physical, we don't quite understand. So we have to understand that everything is energy, right? This is a completely different kind of healing.
So everything is energy, but we very much include the physical body because we are working on the physical body. So as a whole, we see flesh and blood, but we're also surrounded we're part of an energy field, life force energy that is around us and in us. And you can kind of think of it like breathing. We all breathe the same air. We don't see air, but without it, we wouldn't be here.
That's right. So what kind of ailments does the Wonder Method heal?
We work on anything essentially. I'm careful about using the word heal itself. I always like to say it helps heal.
You say
But
that
you
because
can work on anything with it.
yeah, you say that because the person who does the wonder method is not the healer. The person who he's working on, their body is the healer, right? The person that you're working on, they're the healer. Their body's healing themselves, right?
Yes, every
Yes.
person is their own healer and
Yes.
has the ability to heal themselves.
So anything can be healed. Like, can you work with people that have something like cancer?
Yeah, and I have.
Can you
I've
give us
worked
a little
with
example?
people. I've worked with a few people who were going in for biopsies, and I worked on. And what I really love about the Wonder Method is I help people process their feelings around it, but again, on a sensation level rather than a story level. So I have them feel whatever comes up when they talk about it. And yeah, and then they went in for the biopsies and they were clear. So I help them also deal with their worry around an issue. Because half the time when we have issues, half of the problem is our fear around it. So the Wonder Method really helps us target the feelings around it as well.
So that's interesting. You say the story, like I might come to you and say, oh, you know, I've got this pain in my gut, and you might say, well, are you worried about something? I might say, yeah, I'm worried about this and this. And so it's my emotions that are causing the pain, right?
Well, I wouldn't even say that.
No?
I would say, oh, you have a pain. What sensation shows up in you when you say that? And you don't even have to know what it is, but usually a little pressure would show up. So I would say gently ease into that pressure.
How do you do that? I mean, how does a person ease into a pressure?
So even, I can demonstrate if you like.
Yes.
Yeah, so even right now, is there anything specific?
Leg pain.
Leg pain. So I would say, when you say leg pain, there's this like slight pressure that shows up in you. It's almost like walling it off. So ease super, super gently into that sensation. Yep, and you don't even have to know what it is.
How do you ease into the sensation?
So we have our central nervous system, which is the brain and the spine. And then there's the peripheral nervous system, and that's like all the nerves in our body. So you start to just gently ease into that, and the mind starts to quiet down. So you start to do it on a physical level. And you start to do it without even knowing. Yeah, so right now, that confusion, like...
Yeah, it is confusing.
Gently, yeah. Gently ease into that. Let it happen. And it gets quieter.
Do you have to know, it sounds like when you talk about the body, do you have to know anatomy? To learn the Wonder Method, do you have to know the anatomy of a person? Of your, of your
You don't initially, but it's very helpful. And as I work on people, I learn about it. So when someone says a condition, I generally will look it up to see where it is if I don't know. And even the nervous system, I always just thought of it as like the brain and the spine. I forgot about the peripheral part. Mm-hmm. And once I learned about that, it kind of was like, it opened it all up for me.
How long did it take you to learn the Wonder Method?
So within 1 or 2 sessions, you start to get it, like the concept of less effort, and when you feel the pressure easing as opposed to pushing it away. And then it's just been practice over years. I practice every morning for an hour.
Do it on yourself?
Yeah.
So do you feel you're healthy?
Knock on wood.
That's good. Well, you look really healthy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So can you give us an example of somebody that's come in to see you, or do you do this, can you do this remotely?
Most of my sessions are remote.
Now, can you explain how that works?
Yeah. So usually someone will call or text or email requesting a session, and then we'll do it over video, like Zoom or FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll do it just on the phone. Sometimes they'll even just send me a picture and tell me what they want me to work on. And it's really cool and just like magical.
So if I called you up and said, I've got a pain in my leg, what would you do? I mean, do you see me? I mean, I don't understand how you make the connection.
So I start by opening myself up so I get very relaxed within. As I become very relaxed within, I very lightly include you in my awareness. And because I've been practicing, I'm very aware of different sensations. So I recognize the sensation of you, which is slightly different than me. And then I gently include you in my awareness. And then the condition. But I'm not including like the condition itself. It's more the sensation that's being triggered inside me.
Yeah, because you don't want to pick up the condition.
Exactly. And that way I'm not picking anything up. I'm always just staying me. I'm just allowing you, sort of when you see someone meditating and they are very present and you start to feel present around them, it's the same sort of thing.
Is it easier for you to do something with a person with you as opposed to remotely?
Interestingly enough, I have found remote easier.
Wow, interesting.
One, because I trained remotely. Because Alan actually lives in Oregon. So I trained remotely with him. And then sometimes when I'm in a room with someone, I'm just so much from them, meaning I'm so open that it can be overwhelming a little bit. Where when we're all in our own spaces, I can go slower and only take things slightly at a time.
I'm going to have to get the book because it's way over my head. I read the Quantum Touch book and I got it, but this is way over my head. Let's see. Can you give us an example of someone who came into you or somebody called you, tell us what their problem, you don't have to use names, but somebody who had an ailment and you helped that person and how it worked.
Yeah, so I had someone come to me remotely. They had horrible leg and feet pain that the doctors couldn't figure out. They'd been to many, many doctors. So I had them just relax, and I just worked on them. And then after about 45 minutes or so, the pain was completely gone. But they were worried about it coming back. So I had them start to process it a little bit. So I started to coach them because when people work on themselves, it's even more effective. And then as I was coaching them, it came up that they were very angry at somebody. And I had them feel and experience that anger very gently. And then pain was gone, their worry was gone, and it's been like over a year now, and they've been good.
Do you have patients that come to you on a regular basis, for to keep getting better and better and to keep it away, like this person with the leg pain?
I will have clients repeat often. They repeat if it's especially emotional stuff. Mm-hmm. Because as we work on ourselves, new things start to always come up.
Yeah.
So it just takes you deeper and deeper. And a side effect of it is it actually makes you also very relaxed and present.
Do you think a lot of our problems, physical problems, stem from our emotional body, our emotions?
100%. It's linked like that.
Oh, interesting. Now,
Yeah.
can you work with doctors? Like, would chiropractors benefit learning this, or naturopaths?
I would love to. My dream is to work with like nurses and doctors and teach them it a little bit because it's a way of interacting with people. And yeah.
Do you see our health system making a change? I'm not saying it's, into the more natural energy healing. I've talked to a lot of energy healers, that's why I'm asking.
I do. I think just life fluctuates, and I think you make headway in one area, there's resistance in another. It kind of keeps things in balance.
That's a good way of looking at it, I guess. Can you help animals?
Yes. I love working on animals.
But how can animals tell you about their feelings? How does that work? Just an example.
So the thing is, so no one even has to tell me about their feelings because I'm working on a sensation level. I'm just feeling what's showing up physically, not what's in the mind. So I had a client call me the other day, their puppy actually, he's like a few months old. I forget what it was now. It was some injury. And I started off, they sent me a picture and the dog she was all curled up in herself.
Oh.
And then as the hour went by, she just got perkier and perkier. And and you could see her energy field completely changed by the end of the session. And she was fine.
I gotta say, this blows my mind. I gotta really check into this. So where does Alan?
Blows my mind.
Yeah. So you met Alan at Quantum Touch. He was one of the teachers at Quantum Touch. We are going to talk to somebody in another interview.
Yeah, so I didn't meet him through Quantum Touch. I met him, somebody who was teaching Quantum Touch introduced me then to Alan separately. And then I started doing a lot of private sessions with him. And then eventually I took his classes like multiple times.
And he's in Oregon. We're in Oregon.
He's in Oregon. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, that's
Let me see if it says in the book.
All right, well, that's okay. While you're doing that, let's see.
Somewhere in Oregon.
So this method helped you. You got into it. This method has helped you. Do you do it on yourself a lot?
I love it because it helps me. And this is the reason I would love to work with like nurses and chiropractors and people in the medical field, anyone in a helping profession.
Yes.
Because the biggest thing is it helps me. Like when I'm working with someone, it helps me stay centered and energized and I don't get as drained.
So what do you do to prepare before you work with a client? Can you tell us?
Normally, I call it processing, but I normally process for about at least 10 minutes before, where I get myself very centered, where I feel just very open and connected to life force energy.
I hear people say getting centered. How do you center yourself? I'm really curious. How does one get centered?
One of the basics of the Wonder method is called the breath with wonder. And it's a certain breathing technique that we do. And then there's other techniques as well.
Interesting. So can you hold up the book?
Yeah. There we go. It's called Energy Healing and the Art of Awakening Through Wonder.
It's a beautiful book, too. I love the tree.
It is beautiful. I recommend it. It's really good.
Okay.
And they explain it so well in here. I mean, it's something that, like, I can explain it as best as I could.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
It seems, well, that's why I want you to hold up the book, because I think people really need to read the book. I mean, we talked a little bit about it, but it seems, it's hard to explain unless you see it in print, I think.
It's very hard to explain. There's an expression in the Tao Te Ching, which Alan actually quotes a lot, but it's, you can't know it, but you can be it. And because it's so much on an experiential level and an inner experience, it's really hard to put into words.
It
but
is.
we try our best.
Yeah, I know you and I talked on the phone, and I didn't realize it was going to be so hard to interview on this particular topic, but it's kind of out there, but I think it's very fascinating. And I think if we open our minds and hearts open to these other healings, why not? I don't see it can't harm anybody. You don't know if anybody's been harmed by it.
No, I would say it's a combination between like energy healing work and then meditation. So you get into a sort of meditative state, except it's not a still state. It's just this very open, present state. And from that place, rather than reaching and like sending energy to someone, it's almost like becoming like a still lake and allowing someone to then submerge themselves in that lake.
Nice visual.
Yeah, it's very receiving rather than giving or. Yeah.
Is receiving. Is there anything you want to add to our talk that I left out, maybe that I should have brought up? You're the expert, not me. I'm just really confused. But I really like the idea. I want to learn more. You've inspired me to learn more about this.
Yay. Well, it can be used for anything, and we talked about this a little before the interview. I write poetry as well, and for 5 years, I worked on my latest poetry book, and there were a lot of old poems I'd written where I wasn't necessarily, long before I knew energy work, but I wanted to imbue it with this energy. So I went through every poem and I felt it in the same way as I would a quiet. And I made change. That was my editing process. And so when you read the book, it like lifts you up as well.
So this process helped you with one of your passions, which is writing. Now, I like to interview people, and I was a singer for a while. Can it help me with music, my singing, and also with interviewing if I use this method?
Yes, because it also teaches you how to speak and listen from a more open, present place as well. So the key is basically connecting to your own body. You never have to leave home. You never have to leave yourself in order to give to someone else. The more that you're you, the more you can actually be there for others.
Now, here's a very vain question. Can you use the Wonder Method to make yourself look younger and prettier? Because you look great.
Thank you. I mean, I think so. I think it's one of the, you could work on it actively, but I also think it's one of the side effects.
That's great. It sounds like while you're helping others, you're helping yourself, and that sounds great. Well, anyway, you've got my interest piqued. I'm going to delve into this some more. Thank you so much, Chaya, for joining us. This is our first interview via Zoom. So you did a great job. Yeah, go ahead.
And just to give a little plug, if you want to know more.
Go ahead.
So if you want to, there's a Wonder Method website, which is wondermethod.com.
Oh yes, we're going to put all this up at the end. We're going to put up your website, and we're going to put up your email, because people might want to contact you. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So at the end of the show, we'll have your email, and we'll have the website as well. So people, because we don't want to just tell them about this and then drop them. We want them to follow up on
Goodbye.
this.
See you later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for being with us. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome, Pauline. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. This has been fun. Have a good time there in Venice Beach.
I will. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, folks, for watching another edition of Parapsychology Today. And if you liked our show or you have some suggestions, please contact us. The website will come up on the screen. It's parapsychologytoday24@gmail.com. We hope you enjoyed the show and watch another edition. Thank you so much. Goodbye.